Hey, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And in today's episode, I am going to be talking about how to maintain good health and improve your quality of life. See, maintaining good health involves a combination of things, okay? It involves the physical aspect, the mental, and it also involves the emotional aspect. That's what helps us to be well. Totally, mind, body, soul. So today I want to talk about what it takes in order to maintain good health, okay? And here's the thing. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Here's the thing. It all goes back to the 6 key principles. I'm trying to tell you, we will never, ever be able to get away from the 6 key principles. When I tell you that they are key principles, they are. Okay, let me give you an example. Here's a principle for you. A fish cannot live out of water. Can't live out of water. A plant can't live out of soil. That's a principle. If we apply the key principles, we can improve our health and our quality of life. Hey, stay tuned for this episode. It's going to be amazing. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the inside. Hey, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And in today's episode, I am going to be talking about how to maintain good health and improve your quality of life. Maintaining good health involves a combination of things. It involves the physical aspect, the mental aspect, as well as the emotional aspect in order for us to maintain our well-being. Okay? Here is the thing. In order to be able to maintain good health, improve your quality of life, and your well-being, the 6 key principles will always apply. Always. You cannot get away from the 6 key principles. Those 6 key principles is what will put you on the right path to health, keep you on the right path to health, and you can maintain a healthy lifestyle with these principles. I'm telling you, we will never, ever be able to get away from these 6 principles if, in fact, we are wanting to maintain good health. It's impossible, okay? These principles is the only thing that's going to work. Let me tell you how principles work. Here's a principle for you. A fish cannot live out of water. The principle here is the water. The fish cannot live without the water. That's a principle. A tree, a plant cannot live without soil. The soil is the principle. Okay? The key principles to good health, and I started out with this from day one. We got to look at our habits. We got to look at our mindset. We got to look at our water intake, how much sleep we're getting, what type of physical activity we're getting, and a balanced diet. Those are the key principles to good health. I don't care what else you do. You can go to the gym and you can work out. You can fast. You can pray. You can do all that. Principles do not change. They're like characters. When I say character, I mean like alphabets, like A, B, C. They're like 1, 2, 3. Okay, those are characters. Those characters are the same in China. They're the same in Delaware. They're the same in Florida. They're the same in New Zealand. A is A all over the world at 2 a.m. in the morning, just like it is at 6 a.m. in the morning. That's how these 6 key principles are. They will work 7 days a week, 365 days a year, for anyone at any time. Okay? There's no exclusion. You can't say, well, it's not going to work for me. Principles work, period. And I don't care who you are. Okay? If you are a fish and someone takes you out the water, here's what I can tell you is that the fish will die. If you take a plant out of the ground, the plant is going to die. Because the principle is the soil to the plant and the water is the principle to the fish. Just like the eating is to us and the sleeping is to us. And it's a principle. If I can get you all to understand that it is a principle, all these things are principles. And here's the thing, they will never, ever, 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 and add 10 more thousand evers to that, change. Because if you take a fish out of water today, just like whoever thousands of years ago, when they were fishermen took fish out the water, guess what? They died. 10,000 years ago. So guess what? The same principle applies today. You can take a fish out of water today, and guess what's going to happen to the fish? It's going to die. That's why I need you to understand how important these principles are. If you work these principles, I can guarantee you, I'll put my life on the line, that they will work. I'm telling you what I know. I apply these principles every single day of my life, and that's how I'm able to maintain good health. When I go to the doctor and they ask me about my history, my medical history, they can look on my chart and they can see I'm not on any medication at all. I don't even take over the counter. I don't take aspirin. I don't take Advil. I don't take BC. I don't take nothing. You know why? Because I apply the principles. So I don't have to take anything. I don't have high blood pressure. You know why? Because I apply the principle. I don't have diabetes. You know why? Because I apply the principle. So what I'm saying to you is that if you apply the principle, if you want, let me say this, excuse me, let me go back. If you want good health, if you want to improve your quality of life, what I can guarantee you is if you apply these 6 principles, you will have just that. You will have the life that you desire. So the balanced diet, you got to eat a variety of foods. Said it 1,000 times. I know you heard it before, but it's definitely bear repeating. You got to eat a variety of food, which includes the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, the lean proteins, the healthy fats. You got to eliminate processed food from your diet. You have to eliminate processed foods from your diet. Let me say that one more time. You have to eliminate processed food from your diet. The sugars, the food that have the high sodium, you got to eliminate that. You got to eliminate it. Here's another principle. Regular exercise. You should aim for at least a minimum of 150 minutes of moderate exercise or activity. Okay, you might not like exercise. Okay, well, dance. If you like dancing, dance. You like swimming, swim. Whatever it is that you like, that you enjoy doing, because when you enjoy doing it, here's the thing, you will do it more often. If it's Zumba, if it's step class, if it's, weight training, whatever it is, do that to get your 150 minutes of moderate exercise in a week. Now, if you work your way to a vigorous activity, like me, for instance, I go to the gym, I'm on the treadmill for 30 minutes, I get off and I do my weight training. That's vigorous exercise, but I do at least an hour and a half, 5 days a week. Okay, so I would recommend that if you're going to do something vigorous, 75 minutes. 75 minutes. It can include the strength training, just like I do. Or it can include Zumba. It can include step classes. Swimming is another good form of vigorous exercise. So I would highly recommend that you aim for either 150 minutes a week or 75 minutes a week for vigorous exercise. Okay. Here's another principle. Again, you cannot get away from the principles. You have to stay hydrated. You have to stay hydrated. And I've talked about this time and time again, why it's important to stay hydrated. Our organs need to be hydrated. Our brain cells need to be hydrated. Our cells need to be hydrated. Our skin, which is the largest organ that we have, needs to be hydrated. So yes, we have to drink plenty of water throughout the day. Proper hydration is crucial for our body to function properly. Dehydration starts to create a lot of problems in our bodies. So that's the reason why hydration is so important. Again, it's one of the principles. You cannot get away from it. I always recommend, I tell people, whatever your body weight is, if you weigh 100 pounds, just speaking hypothetically, if you weigh 100 pounds, for easy math, you should drink 50 ounces of water a day. If you weigh 100 pounds. So whatever your weight is, you cut the weight in half, and that's how many ounces of water you should consume every day, which will make sure that your organs, your cells, your brain cells, your skin, your hair, your nails, your digestive system, all that stuff is getting what it needs to function properly. That's why water is so important. Okay? Again, it's a principle. If you take the fish out of the water, it's going to die. If you don't drink enough water, it's going to create problems for your organs. You're going to have dry skin. You're going to have flakes in your hair. You're going to have brittle nails. So yes, it's like taking the fish out of the water. That's why we need to hydrate. Okay? I told you can't get away from these principles. You cannot. And I wish people would stop trying to. They just think that, I can exercise. No, but you're not eating right. You're not sleeping right. You're not getting enough water. So no, all of them work together. All of them work together. Here is another principle that you got to understand works in your favor. You have to aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. Now, it's one thing to sleep. Okay, it's one thing to sleep, but how's your quality of sleep? When you wake up, do you still feel tired? Have you been tossing and turning all night, waking up, thinking about stuff, and then falling back asleep hours later? That's not quality sleep. You may be sleeping, but it's not quality sleep. Quality sleep is when you lay down before it's time for you to fall asleep. First of all, let me back up. Unwind for an hour before your bedtime. Set a bedtime. My bedtime is 8 o'clock. I'm going to give you an example. My bedtime is 8 o'clock. I personally take 1 hour every day, 7 days a week to unwind. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to nothing, talk to nobody on the phone. I shut everything and everybody out because that is the time for me to unplug, relax my mind, and relax my body so that I can get ready to fall asleep. So when 8 o'clock comes, I instantly, you hear that? I fall asleep just like that. I fall asleep at 8 o'clock every night on time. And when I wake up at 3 a.m., I feel refreshed. Now, yes, I get 7 hours, but my body is just trained to go to sleep at 8 and wake up at 3 a.m. And there's a purpose. There's a reason why I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been doing it for years. My mother told me pretty much all my life. She says even when I was a little girl that I woke up early in the morning. So, I don't know what that's all about. But hey, I don't mind, because I get my sleep. I still get at least a minimum of 7 hours. I don't know when the last time I slept until 4 o'clock a.m. I be trying though. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed at 9 and maybe I'll wake up at 4. Nope. Even if I go to bed at 9, I'm still gonna wake up at 3 because my body it has established that routine. Okay. And that's another thing that we're gonna talk about too. So you have to establish a regular sleeping habit so that you can be able to get good quality sleep. Now, here's another one. It's not included. I don't focus on it in the 6 principles, but it is an important principle. and that is managing our stress. Because when we get stressed, it affects our health. Okay? Stress affects our health. You can get headaches, you don't sleep, you don't eat, or you overeat, or you just can't, you have no clarity. Your mind is just all over the place. That's why we have to learn how to be aware of stress and be able to reduce the stress. There's techniques out there. There's an app for that. So we can use techniques like meditation or prayer, whichever you prefer to call it. Meditation, prayer, yoga, deep breathing exercises, or even just finding a hobby that you like. For me, when I get stressed, if I hit the gym, boo, I'm good. Okay? I'm telling you, my stress level it's like the sweat comes out, and it's like it's just melting away all of the stress and the anxiety. So yes, stress management, as soon as you feel, because you know when you start to get stressed, you feel it before it even happens. So before it gets to that point, what you have to do is you got to come center yourself, and you have to start practicing some techniques like the meditation or the deep breathing, or either go and find something that you enjoy doing and just go and do it. Okay. Now, here is something that I definitely recommend is that you have regular checkups. Now, for me, that means once a year. I see the doctor once a year. I don't have any health problems. I'm not on any medication. I don't have to see the doctor more than once a year. So I see the doctor once a year for checkups. Now, that's what my body requires. You may require something different, but I definitely would recommend that you do regular checkups, because you want to keep an eye on your numbers. You want to keep an eye on your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your A1C. Those numbers are important. So that's why regular checkups are very, very vital for you to know where you are. So yes, get with your healthcare provider. Here's what I recommend. Because early detection is a great thing. Here's what I recommend. I highly recommend a holistic healthcare practitioner or a naturopathic practitioner, which I am both. And the reason why I say that is because naturopathy and holistic health, we focus on the whole entire person. You can't come to me and say, oh, I have a headache. Okay, well, yeah, we're going to get to the root of why you have a headache. We're not going to just give you a pill and say, here, go feel better. We're going to get to the root of why do you have a headache? What's causing the headache? Because that's the part we need to fix. Giving you a pill is not fixing the headache. It may fix the symptoms, but it's not fixing the headache. So as a naturopathic practitioner and a holistic practitioner, my position, my duty is to help to prevent you from the high blood pressure and the high cholesterol and the diabetes. That is my position as a naturopathic practitioner. So I always recommend that if you can see a naturopathic practitioner or a holistic healthcare practitioner, then I highly recommend that, because what we focus on is the whole person. Mind, body, soul. When you go to your doctor and you have a complaint, or the doctor run tests on you, your lab work, and they say you have high blood pressure, guess what they're going to focus on? They're going to focus on your high blood pressure. Do you honestly think that they're going to say to you, well, are you stressing? Do you have any stresses in your life? They're not going to ask you those questions, because your high blood pressure could be coming from you stressing. It may not even have nothing to do with anything else other than you stressing. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying it could be. So if that's the case, then a naturopathic practitioner will be able to dig deep enough in order to be able to find that out. Whether it's something that is a condition, or if it's a symptom of something else. And that's what we need, and that's what we do. So here's the other thing. Yes, early detection is great. Here's the other thing. Limit and avoid alcohol and smoking. Okay. Now, hey, I'm not a drinker, never been a drinker. I might have a glass of wine every now and again, maybe like once or twice a month, but I'm not a drinker. But If you do it over excessively, then you're going to start to have problems, whether it's smoking or drinking. If it's drinking, then you're talking about your liver. If it's smoking, now you're talking about your lungs and your kidneys. So yes, but if you're going to drink, do it in moderation. And definitely avoid secondhand smoke. They say that is worse than actually smoking itself. So don't put yourself at risk for secondhand smoke. So if you're around people that smoke, then remove yourself and don't put yourself in that position. Here is another principle of good health. Our social connections, the people that's in our lives, our relationships, those things are important because I think I posted the other day on Facebook. It's like people like me go to therapy because there are other people in my life who won't go to therapy. So that's why I'm in therapy, So yes, that's why we have to stay connected to people who are going to build us up. We have to stay in good relationships. We can't be in toxic relationships because that affects your health. It affects our health when we are in bad relationships. We're in toxic relationships. And I know because I watched my daughter in toxic relationship for years and it affected her health. My daughter was in the emergency room every single weekend. And it wasn't just physical. Her problem really wasn't physical. It was more of the emotional side of it. It was the emotional side of it. That's why the connection with who we are involved with, our friends, our partners, our mates, our spouses, whatever you want to call it, we have to evaluate those relationships because those relationships affect our health. And they can either promote our well-being or they can cause destruction in our well-being. Here's another one, our mental health care. We have to pay attention to our mental health. We have to be aware of our mental health. I know that, mental health is talked about a lot, but our mental and emotional health is so important. And here's the thing. If in fact you are struggling in your mental and emotional health, it's okay to say you need help. It's okay to say that. It's okay to seek help. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with needing help if you are struggling mentally and emotionally. I would urge you to please seek therapy, counseling, group support. All this will be a benefit to you, even coaching. So yes, definitely. Our mental and emotional health is important. We have to be aware of that. Educate yourself. Stay informed about your health and topics. Things that's so you can make informed decisions about your health so that you can be in alignment with the things that is going to promote good health. That's going to help you to reach the goal of improving your health and your quality of life. Mindfulness and gratitude, that is some energy that we all need because that keeps us in a good space. Mindfulness of where we are at the moment and being present and honoring that space. Okay. Gratitude. We got to practice mindfulness every single day. We got to stay present. See, what happens is we have to cultivate that. It doesn't happen naturally. It's not going to just happen because I say be mindful and be grateful. It doesn't happen like that. You have to practice being grateful. You have to practice mindfulness. You have to cultivate that. It's not something that's just going to happen. Because when we cultivate gratitude for every positive aspect of our life, here's what I know. If we incorporate these practices into our daily routine, it can and will significantly improve our overall health and well-being and improve our quality of life. Hey, that's what I have for you today. I hope that this episode has added value to your life. Thank you for joining me on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. And I want to give a shout out to my listeners before I get out of here. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate you so much here in the United States, Canada, Belgium, the UK, Mexico, Russia, France, Brazil, Ireland, India, Bangladesh, Australia, and Nigeria. Thank you all for listening. The listener audience is growing. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Hey, if this podcast has been a benefit to you, please subscribe, follow me, write a review, share it with someone else who it may benefit as well. Please. I appreciate you so much. And remember, knowledge applied is power. That's where your power is, when you apply the knowledge. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the next level.